Welcome! Today I'll show you how to paint white power armor. It is important you watch my previous video on recessed shading if you want to get this result without the use of oil paints. When painting white, we have to take into account that if we begin from, let's say, titanium white, we have no way of going brighter. I decided to begin from dark sea gray, which gives me plenty of space to highlight. I also worked in sub-assemblies to reach all details. Having base coated everything, I moved on to the shadows. As I've mentioned before, while I'm using oil paints to pin wash the armor, I have shown how to get the exact same result with acrylics on a previous video, which I'll link above. The idea here is to only catch the recesses. If I were to use a wash all over the armor, not only would I stain the recesses, but also my light gray base coat would darken up, making me have to layer all over the armor again to clean it up. Once I was done with the pin wash, the model could be assembled, having made sure I could reach comfortably all the recesses. Had I begun from an even lighter grey or an off-white, I could call the model done, since by using the pin washing technique I have achieved a clean look on the armor. However, I did want to spend a bit more time on the model, so I mixed dark sea grey with deck tan in equal amounts and began to layer over the armor. The ivory I showed was an option I had to go even brighter, which I did not end up using. With the model built, I used this lighter mix to go over only the easy to reach areas. Anything else will be treated as shadow. This step gave me another layer of color progression, with deep pin wash recesses, a base coat of grey on the hard to reach areas, and now a layering of off-white on the exposed parts. Because this is a gaming model, I didn't go all in on the blending, since it'll be looked at from afar. Here is an example of hard to reach areas I skipped. You can see how without using white, the model still reads as wearing white armor. I'll finish off with a couple more highlights of pure deck tan, focusing on hands, head and anything heavily exposed. On wider panels, I'll do some partial layering like I did before with the 50-50 mix. Had I wanted, I could have gone even brighter with ivory and even titanium white. However, the white look will be achieved just by defining the shadows with a precise wash and keeping the rest of the model clean. That is why a normal approach of an overall wash followed by a dry brush all over doesn't work for some painters, and they end up having to layer all the panels again. I believe taking a bit more time with the precise shading provides a better look in just one step. While I did do 2 steps of highlights on this character, were I painting a full army, I would have settled for a base coat of deck tan plus the pin wash. Here is the end result. I hope you found this video useful and feel free to leave any questions in the comments.